day, ladies and gents. All right, so we're continuing Unit 8, 2D. So here is your Hot Topics page. We have a bunch of equations. So circles is circumference. So circumference equals d pi for area. Area equals pi r squared, where diameter is all the way across and radius is from the center to the edge. So we're going to be dealing with that. All right. Let's rock and roll. All right, so we're on page 6. So let's go to page 6. All right, so first of all, we're going to be using, for pi is going to be 3.14. So pi equals 3.14. So that's our symbol for pi. Okay, so area equals pi r squared. So pi r squared, where r is from the center to the edge. So on every single problem with a circle, I want you to find both the radius and the diameter. So for number 1, radius and diameter. Okay, so for number 1, this is from the center to the edge. So is that the radius or diameter? That would be the radius. And so if the radius is 12, then the diameter all the way across 12 and 12 would make 24. So I want you to do that on every single problem, find both the radius and the diameter. Okay, so if I ask you to find the area, that is pi r squared, that is pi 12 squared, and that would be, what's 12 times 12? That's 144. So 144 pi would be the nice way. So basically, you're treating the pi like an x. And what's 144 times 3.14? So basically, we're doing 144 times 3.14, or vice versa, 3.14 times 144. And we would pop out with 144 times 3.14, we would get 452.16. And they said to round to nearest hundredth, which means 2 decimal places. We're already there, so that is our final answer. Fantastic. All right, so this was our exact answer. This is our estimated answer, our approximate answer. So this is exact. This is approximate. All right, on this one, radius and diameter. So 35 is all the way across, so that is the diameter. So 35 divided by 2 would give us 17.5, and that would be our radius. So how did we get from here to here? We just divided by 2. All right, so now your area is pi r squared. That is pi 17.5 squared. All right, so 17.5 squared, we would have 306.25 pi. Okay, and so you multiply by 3.14, so we would have 961.625, and they said to nearest hundredth. 100 has 2 decimal places, so our final answer is, ran out of room, so 961.63. And there's your final answer. All right, sweet. Let's keep going. All right. Okay, so you're going to have a bunch of practice with that, just getting the area and the circumference. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about arc length and sector area. So basically, arc length is the percentage of the circumference. So I don't want all the way the distance around. I just want this one little segment. So it's whatever the angle is over 360. That's what percentage stands for. Angle over 360 of the circumference. So sometimes they will give you the actual circumference, and sometimes they'll only give you radius or diameter, and you just plug it in. So whatever the circumference is, you put that in there. Okay, and then sector area, same idea, percentage of the area, angle over 360. So angle over 360. And then multiplied by pi r squared, because it's percentage of the area. Okay, so we're going to put this in. We're going to use this. Remember, page 1 should be next to you at all times to help you out. All right, so sector area, the basic gist for sector area is equal to percentage of the area. So that would be the angle. So I put the theta symbol angle over 360 times pi r squared. All right. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Or you could use x for your degree, but just leave it as theta. All right, number 3. Okay, so for this, as always, I want you to find radius and diameter. Okay, B to C, in this case, that would be your radius. And so our diameter, 16 times 2, we would get 32. And then our angle, theta, would be 51. Okay, so we just find that every single time we do, so we don't have to think about it. All right, so then we want the sector area. So that would be, so sector is equal to percentage of the area. Okay, so percentage would be angle over 360, and then times the area, in this case, pi r squared. Zoom in just a little more. Okay, so our angle was 51 over 360, your pi, and then 16 squared. All right, so I'm putting this in my calculator. So I'm doing 51 divided by 360 equals, that's my percentage, times 3.14 times, and that means 16 times 16 times 16 times 16. And we get this big long decimal. Okay, so they said to round to nearest hundredth, so that'd be 0.88. So 113.88. Sweet. Awesome sauce. Okay, number 4. Okay, once again, radius, diameter, and theta. All right, so P to Q is our radius. So our diameter, so 22 times 2, we get 44. And our theta, that's the angle, is 139. Okay, we just need to plug it in. So sector is equal to percentage of the area. So that would be theta over 360 times pi r squared. Just need to plug it in. So 139 over 360 pi 22 squared. Okay, so 139 times 360. I'm sorry, divided by 360. That's our percentage, times 3.14 times 22 times 22. And we get this big long decimal. And they said around to nearest hundredth, so that'd be 0.7, okay, 79 or 80. 79 or it would be 80. So 586.80 would be our rounded version, but 80, we can just say 0.8. That would be the better answer. All right, keep going. Okay, so once again, we're doing the shaded region. Okay, so this is 46 and this is 46. So all together, all of our shaded region would be those put together. So radius, diameter, and theta. So H to G. Here's H, here's G. That's our radius because that's center to the edge. So 7, our diameter would be 14. Okay, our theta would be, okay, we have 46 here and 46 here. We put those two together, 46 plus 46, and we get 92. So our theta is 92. Okay, so sector area, that would be percentage of the area. All right, that is theta over 360 times pi r squared. That is 96 over 360 pi 7 squared. And all I have to do now is plug it in my calculator. 96 divided by 360 equals, there's our percentage, times 3.14 times 7 times 7. And we get 41.029333333333. And they said the nearest hundredth. So am I staying at 0.02 or 0.3? I would go to 41.03. Double checking something. Oh, wait. Sorry, this is supposed to be a 2. Just off by a little bit. Sorry about that. Let me double check. 92 divided by 360 times 3.14 times 7 times 7. Sorry about that. Typo. Always double check. 39.319777777. Okay, and we would, that'd be 39.32. There you go, and there's your answer. All right, let's keep going. Okay, so on number 6. Okay, so this is 62, right? Okay, so now you see how there's little notches here? That means that all these are 62. So just put that out there. Okay, so we have our radius. They said P to C. Here's P, here's C. That's our radius is 12. Our diameter would be 24. Now, for your theta, now all the way around here is 360. And we are going to subtract this white 62, this white 62, and this white 62. So subtract 62, subtract 62, subtract 62. All right, so 360 minus 62, 62, and 62, we would have 174. So that is our theta. So our theta is that right there. Okay, so sector is equal to percentage of the area. That is theta over 360 times pi radius squared. All right, so we have 174 over 360 pi 12 squared. All right, so we put that in our calculator. 174 divided by 360, we get this decimal. There's our percentage. Okay, times 3.14 times 12 times 12. And we get this number, 218.544. They said it's the nearest 100th, so 218.54. And there's our final answer. Boop. All right, flip to the next page, please. Page 7. Okay, so now we're going to do the circumference, right? So circumference is d pi. So I do recognize that is also 2 pi r, because 2r is the same thing, but I'd rather you just not use that. I have my reasons. I've been teaching for many years. I know where all of your errors are, so please just trust me. Just use d pi every time. You'll be so much safer. Just get used to that. Okay, so for circumference on this, okay, first of all, we need the radius and diameter. All right, so the radius from center to the edge is 7, so the diameter would have to be 14. Circumference is d pi. That would just be 14 pi. So that's the exact answer. 14 times 3.14, because we're going to let pi equal 3.14, we get 43.96. They said it's nearest hundredth, which is 2 decimal places, so we're done. All right, number 8, radius and diameter. So this is all the way across. That's 10.2 is your diameter. So that means 5.1 is our radius. Circumference equals d pi. That would be 10.2 pi. So 10.2 times 3.14, and we pop out with 32.028. They said it's around to the nearest hundredth. So are we staying at 0.2 or going up to 0.3? We would go up to 0.3, and there's your answer. All right, now with that out of the way, now we can do arc length. All right, now arc length, if you look at your Hot Topics page, arc length is a percentage of the circumference this time. So that would be, arc length is equal to percentage of the circumference. Okay, so that's percentage of the circumference. So that would be theta over 360 times d pi. So sometimes they give you the circumference, so it would be just the percentage times whatever that number is. So just be mindful of that. All right, number 9. So always find the radius and diameter before you start. So radius, diameter. E to B is the radius, that's 15, so what's the diameter? 30. Okay, so we want, and also theta, we need to find theta. So we want the length of C to D. So we want C to D. So I need to find this angle right here. Now this makes a straight line. So 180 minus 68, this would have to be 112 in order to be a straight line 180 degrees. So our theta is 112. All right, so now that we have that, now we can do now we can do our next thing, which is I lost my place. Okay, we're doing the arc length. Okay, so that is percentage of the circumference. So that is a percentage of the circumference. So that would be theta over 360 times d pi. So our theta is 112 over 360. D is 30 times pi. All right, so all we have to do now is plug it into our calculator. So we have 112 divided by 360 equals times 30 times 3.14, and we get this big long decimal. So I ran out of room, so I'll put it up here. We have 29.3066666667. They said to nearest hundredth, so that'd be 29.31. And there's your final answer right there. Okay, number 10. Okay, so we want NMP, N, M, and then P. So we want all of this. So if this right here is 162, then to make a straight line, this would be 18, and also this would be 18. So radius N to R is 18. Our diameter would have to be, I'm sorry, it's 8, not 18. Sorry, that's 8. Our diameter is 16, and our theta would be 18, 162, and 18. So 18 plus 162 plus 18, and we would pop out with 198. All right, so we want the percentage of the circumference. All right, so that would be theta over 360 times d pi. That's the angle, 198 over 360 times 16 pi. So you put that in the calculator. So 198 divided by 360, we pop out with 0.55, times 16 times 3.14, and we would pop out with 27.632. To the nearest hundredth would be 27.63. And there's your final answer. All right, 2 more problems. Okay, so we have U to T. That's what we want to find, right? All right, so first of all, your radius and your diameter. V to S, that's all the way across. So that'd be the diameter, so your radius would have to be 6. And we only want this little part. So let's see. I know that this is 90 degrees. Let's see. This is 180 minus 127. This would be 53. And this would be 53. So what would be left over? So what would be left over? So that would be 360 minus the 127, the 53, the 53, and the 90. And how many degrees would be left over? 37. So we have 37 degrees left over. Okay, so all you have to do now is plug it into the calculator. So that's percentage of the circumference. So that'd be theta over 360 d pi, 37 over 360, 12 pi. So 37 divided by 360 times 12 times 3.14, and you would pop out with 3.87266666667. And to round to nearest hundredth, that'd be 3.87. All right. Okay, and the last problem. Okay, so your radius and your diameter. So J to H, that's all the way across, is 21. So divide that by 2, your radius would have to be 10.5. Now your theta. All right, let's see. If this is 85, then this would have to be 95 to complete the straight line. Same thing here. This would have to be 95 to complete the straight line. And I want KJG. Now, let's see. 180 degrees. 360 degrees all the way around. What's left over here would be 26 degrees. Okay, so they want KJG. KJG. So basically, they want everything but that 26. So basically, your theta, you can either add all those together, or you can do 360 minus 26, which is really 334. All right, so now all we have to do is percentage of circumference. That is the angle over 360 times d pi. That would be 334 over 360 times 21 pi. Ran out of room, so I'll put it up here. So 334 divided by 360. I get this decimal times 21 times 3.14. And I get 61.17766666667. And they said to nearest hundredth, so that'd be 61.18. And there's your final answer. All right. Have a great and wonderful day. Good luck.